looking back at me. I don't know what happened. Guess we weren't meant to be. I know we had problems. I thought we could fix them, but we got tired. There's nothing left to do but to say goodbye and try to move on. I'll get over you, only wish that I knew how to go on. Baby, you and me, we're so messed up together. Even if we tried, we'd be stuck here forever. I don't understand right now how to make it through, but I'll get over you, and it's not like I'm gonna hate you. It's what it is, nothing left that we could do. Even though it hurts right now, we will make it through. I'll get over you. I'll get over you.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please make sure that you subscribe down below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these types of videos. Please do not mind my tanned hands. I tanned yesterday and it looks pretty horrible on my hands and my feet. It looks really orange, like I was playing baseball, but the rest of my body did come out pretty good and pretty even, which I do like. But I wanted to, if you're new here, by the way, I have a 6-month-old and I have a 2-year-old, and this mama is struggling. It's pretty bad here. I don't even know how I find the time to make these videos for you guys, because in all honesty, like, I don't even know how. I have to be a little selfish and try to put makeup on and just try to block out the chaos and block out that my toddler is acting up and that my 6-month-old wants to be carried 24/7. So yeah, it's pretty bad here, but I wanted to film this video because I wanted to get it out there, because it's something that you guys have been asking me quite often, especially over on my Instagram. I have not even drank all of my coffee, but many of you with Sophia, so many of you have asked me, why did you stop breastfeeding, or like what made you start formula? I've been thinking about doing that for my son, for my baby, for my daughter, but I don't know where to start. So I stopped breastfeeding Sophia when she was 4 months old, and I stopped breastfeeding Noah when he was around 5 months old, so approximately around the same many months. And I mean, to be quite honest with you, I loved breastfeeding. When I finished breastfeeding Sophia, I was so excited to get pregnant again, literally to breastfeed the next baby. And I mean, that's how it was. But with a first baby, like, you're learning everything is new to you. You're just, you know, you're trying to learn everything, and it's all so much more fun. But with your second kid, like, you already know what to do, you already know what's like going on, and all that. So the second time around, breastfeeding wasn't as fun, and I already knew that I wanted to like lose the weight. And I like breastfeeding for me, I cannot handle my hands. Breastfeeding to me, it did help me lose weight with both pregnancies. It's seriously amazing for fat loss, for postpartum, for your body. It's seriously amazing. With both I did not get my period. I still actually haven't gotten my period. I stopped about a month ago and I have not gotten my period yet. But one of the main reasons why I stopped breastfeeding was because it was just too like time consuming. And here, I'm gonna tell you something. If you came across my video and you're watching my video, I'm gonna let you know that you do what is best for your baby. You do what you think is best and what way of feeding is the best for your baby. I am not telling you to stop breastfeeding like I did and start on formula, but I'm just here to let you know what made me switch to formula and how I did it and how I dried up and etc. So you know, Noah had already started like on solids, like on banana purees and like fruits and veggies and stuff. I was already making purees for him, so he wasn't as much on my boob. But throughout the day there were times where he was so much on my boob, and it was so time consuming. I hated pumping. Till this day I hate pumping, and I was like, what's the point of pumping and then just giving that milk to, for example, my husband so he can give it to him? Like, it was just going to be more time consuming than just preparing a bottle. With 2 kids is really hard, because a lot of my time goes towards my toddler and just doing things for her, and I need help with my 6-month-old. So many times my husband couldn't feed him. Like, I had to sit down and feed him and all that. So that was one of the main reasons. It was like very time consuming. Another reason was a lot of the times when we went out to dinner, and I know this is like a little selfish, but again, I think that fed is best. He loves his formula and he's perfectly fine. I would go out and I would have a drink, and I would have, like, you know, and obviously with that comes responsibility that you cannot feed your baby up to like a certain hour until like you have all that alcohol out of your system. So a lot of the times I could not drink, or yeah, a lot of the times I wouldn't drink because he was either not fed and I had to feed him, or I could only have a certain amount of drinks because if not, I would have too much in my system, and I had to breastfeed him, obviously. So that was a second thing that was like, to me, like, okay, I think I'm done. Third, my boobs were just like not filling up anymore. They were just the most saddest thing in the world. It was disgusting. I am so insecure about my boobs. Pregnancy and breastfeeding has definitely been hard for these girls. It's horrible. And then now let's go ahead and jump into, so this is the formula that I started him on. So like right off the bat, I'm like, let me try this one. This is not the one that I tried with Sophia first, because Sophia did have spit up issues. Even with my breast milk, she had spit up issues. He didn't. So I'm like, let me try this one, because this is just like a more generic one. It's the Infamil Infant for infants 0 to 12 months, which is up to how long you're supposed to give your baby in formula anyway. That's coffee at the bottom of my cup. But I ended up trying this one, and he's been doing great in it. He does not spit up at all. Sometimes I add cereal to his milk, but a lot of, like, lately I haven't been, because it just has a lot of metal and stuff. I don't know if you've read about cereal. So I try, like, his nutritionist told me not to give him cereal in his milk every single day or multiple times a day. Maybe like every 2-3 days give him cereal in his milk. So I haven't been doing that much. I just give it to him like that, and he enjoys it. At the beginning, he was a little like, because I was giving it to him room temperature, and he's not for it. He was drinking it better warm, maybe because my boobs, my milk, it came out a little bit warm from my body, and so he was just used to that. But after that, I ended up getting him used to giving him the room temperature milk, and he's already currently drinking it like this. And then something, we had a little bit of an issue with bottles. He started off in Avent bottles, and then that wasn't working, so I switched him over to the mum bottles, I think that's what it's called. And then now he basically drinks out of Avent more than the mum bottles. So babies are confusing, but whatever works, I'm just here for it. And then pretty much I have not seen him go up. If he's been a few hours without drinking milk, he'll maybe drink 5 ounces, but he doesn't really drink a lot of ounces because he tends to drink it. He doesn't drink a lot all in once. He tends to bunch them up. So like every 2-3 hours, he'll have like 4 ounces instead of having like 5-6 ounces every 4 hours. Like, he doesn't drink it like that. He prefers to have 4 ounces every 2-3 hours. So that's the way it works right now. And let's go ahead and jump into how I dried up. So this is exactly how I dried up with Sophia. I feel like this time around I dried up so much faster than the first time. The first time I really didn't drink anything. I didn't put any cabbage on my boobs. I didn't do anything. I just followed the simple steps. The simple steps are to get your pump, whether it's manual or whether it's electric, your pump, and whenever your boobs are like really full, either you hand express, which is not going to come out as much because your boobs are like hard rock, so it's gonna hurt really bad unless you get a pump. And then when you put your pump, you just make sure that you pump until you release some pressure and some pain. Once you release that pressure and that pain, then you stop, because if you go, like, if you dry your boobs out, then it's telling your body like produce more. So that is one way, one simple way to dry out. And I did it with both babies and it worked with both babies. The second time around it worked so much quicker. So that is one thing. That is how I dried up. So do not be scared. My biggest thing, like my biggest tip, is do not go cold turkey, because if you go cold turkey, you are going to be in so much pain. So much pain. It's going to be horrible for you. It's going to be a nightmare. You're probably never going to want to breastfeed ever again, because you're going to be in trauma. Like, that's how bad your boobs hurt after you don't want to breastfeed anymore. So I do have a whole bunch of like pumped bags in my freezer right now, because of whenever I had to pump to dry out, but which is fine, because I will use those bags if I need them for ear infections, eye infections, eczema, whatever, which I'm really happy about. So that is the way that I dried out. Really easy, really simple, nothing crazy, didn't take anything, didn't put cabbage, nothing like that. And those are my reasons as to why I pretty much stopped breastfeeding. And God forbid, I'm not planning on having a third kid, and I don't want a third kid, but God forbid it ever happens later down the road, which I don't want. Let's not talk about that. I wouldn't breastfeed again. I wouldn't breastfeed again. I probably would breastfeed for a month or 2 months, but after that I won't breastfeed, because I feel like the months, I feel like the first few months are like the most important. I would definitely give it a try, and I would definitely like try to breastfeed for the first few months, because it's so important for them, especially like with Noah. Noah had a little bit of milk when he was in the NICU, a little bit of both, because I just wasn't producing. I had to wait till my milk came in, and he was in the NICU, so they had to give him some formula, which was the Similac. They had to give him formula, and then whenever I would pump, they would automatically like give him my milk, because it just has so much antibodies, and it was just so much better for him. And then if he was still like hungry, then they would give him the formula. But I do definitely recommend to feed your baby. If you have milk, feed your baby breast milk for the first few months, and then after that, if you are done and if you decide like, hey, my baby's on solids and he's just not eating as much, or she's not eating as much, she's not as much on my boob, then I'm just gonna go ahead and stop and just do what you think is right. I think, and I've always said this, I am pro breastfeed for sure, 100%, but I'm also pro formula 100% as well, because fed baby is best. The saddest thing to see is a baby crying non-stop because they're hungry. They will eat anything, they will drink anything. And why was formula invented? Because it's good for your baby too. So that is what I think of 100%. Not everyone can breastfeed, so I'm not gonna shame the moms out here that can't breastfeed or that don't want to do it, because You do what you think is right. So those are the tips, small little tips on how to dry up. And if your baby has spit up issues, then I would maybe try the Enfamil Gentle Ease, or maybe the AR, which has cereal. It kind of like, it's like more thickened, so it kind of stops them from spitting up so much. But then again, I would talk to your doctor and to your nutritionist, to your baby's nutritionist, to see which milk is best for them. A lot of the times I would do a lot of research, and I would go with what I thought was best for my kid instead of listening to the doctors, because the doctors, they just want to prescribe you any type of milk, boom, 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 and then it messes up with your baby's like tummy, gives them like so much more tummy aches, and it just makes everything so much worse. So go with your heart, go with your mama heart, do what you think is right, and fed is best. But if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. Ask me anything. I'd be more than happy to share with you what has worked for me, give you any tips, advice on breastfeeding. I love talking about breastfeeding. I think I've learned pretty much a lot in these with these two babies these past 2 years. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
Or maybe I'm not enough for you.